The I/O setup allows us to customize the way that Pro Tools handles our input and output routing from our DigiDesign or M-Audio hardware interface. We can also customize input and output names and destinations and save the schemes to be recalled at a later time. All of this can aid in organizing the way in which you work and the way that you view Pro Tools, and is the first thing you should look at after creating a session. The I/O setup window can be accessed via the Setup menu. Open the Setup menu and select I/O. At the top of the window are 4 tabs: Input, Output, Insert, and Bus. On Pro Tools HD, there are also tabs for mic preamps and hardware insert delay. We'll cover the Insert and Bus tabs later on this DVD. The mic preamps and hardware insert delay tabs will be explained later in the series. Let's start by taking a look at our outputs. There are 2 types of paths that we can create: main paths and subpaths. Main paths are groups of inputs or outputs. Stereo out is an example of a main path. Subpaths are the channels of audio that reside inside the main path. For example, a main output is usually made up of 2 discrete subpaths, a left and a right audio channel. Let's see how this all actually works. If we look at output 1, 2, we can see that its output is stereo. If we click on the plus sign or arrow on the Mac, we'll see the 2 subpaths inside, subpath A1 and subpath A2. They are both mono subpaths. Let's say we want to rename a path to make it more familiar to us. We can double-click in the name field and rename it to our liking. Let's call this output main output. Notice that the subpaths' names have changed as well. Switch to the Inputs tab. Let's delete this path entirely and start from scratch. Select the path you want to delete and hit the Delete Path button. You may have a message come up saying that the path is currently being used in the session. You can always hit Cancel if you're unsure of what you're deleting. We know that we don't need this input, so let's hit Delete. Now we have a blank slate to work with. If you ever get messed up along the way, you can always hit Default and it will bring you back to the default I/O setup. Let's start by creating a new path. Click the New Path button. A path named Path 1 appears, and just to the right we see a question mark. Pro Tools is asking us if this is a mono path or a stereo path. On an HD system, we can also create a multi-channel path used for surround mixing. Let's start by creating a stereo path. Click on the question mark and select Stereo from the pull-down. Beside this, we can now select where on our interface these stereo inputs will come from. On Pro Tools LE, my M-Box only has 2 inputs. On our Pro Tools HD system, we have a choice of 16 different inputs. Notice that when you put the cursor over the gray area underneath the outputs, it turns into a pencil. Pro Tools is allowing us to pencil in our inputs. This is a good way of thinking of it because you can always erase what you've done and change it. Move ahead to the next chapter to continue creating inputs.